Okay, Lucia. More cutscene. Lucia is taking stock of the present situation.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuneau Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuneau. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
Any other, I would doubt. But you, I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks. Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait. Did you hear something just now?
Oh, thought it was a fanboy moment again. Spidey senses are tingling. It's a zombie. Kick it. Oh, it's pudding way.
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Uh-oh.
Dawn may banish even the darkest night, and to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort. 'Tis heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Aetheris. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up
do
at
my
the moon
errands
is
at
hardly
top of the
conducive to that, though, is it? Aye, not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Help me, help you, help me.
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow, well met. You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Heidelin's right paw. That last bit is very important, as am I. if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Good to have you back. May the disciples banish this darkest of nights. Oh, good to have you back.
For a time, at least. Nevertheless, 'twas worth the journey to find present company well. Wilt thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Yeah, but
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
I dare say Master Falchino was as unplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin lunar custodians, as he will soon discover they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures, ere we are summoned to the roster. Actually, I forgot to check that. Adds a healing effect to Divine Veil. Cure purpose. Oh, nice. Okay. The Divine Veil now heals. Is there anything under actions? No, it's 90 for the rest of it. Okay. Into the door here. Oh, the mix between 4 and 5's music is so good. Not that I'm complaining, Orianji, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Etheres, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporrit's desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin Elpis Flower lead? Then the dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nedhanya's theory, where an entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of either. But if our star is so replete with either, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamics of the great expanse. Edeon, or rather the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of theories. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have to but one aim, to defeat Median. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Median, we deliver the world from the final days, but to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Median escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Bana, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as powerful being, I wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge that we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intended for us to flee the theories, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Median? The Vana I know would never give up. No, but Median is still out there. Vana I know will never give up. That's my impression too, otherwise she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provide clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she had been waiting for mankind's answers to Hermes' question. So what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Median. Naturally, our chosen methods will depend entirely upon wherever she has made her nest. And communing with Heidelin must be necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the ethereal sea? Sadly not, though we enlisted the help of Arnvald and other Echo-blessed allies. we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hyland, even from within the anti-tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hyland. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for absorbing the ethereal sea, built closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, we just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say.
After this cutscene, I'm gonna log out.
Okay. Probably play for another hour and 10.
Yeah, you can go ahead a little bit if you want. That's fine.
Probably should
Okay,
go to the bathroom before this cutscene. Okay, I am back, and now I'm going to continue the next parts. The forum is in session, and as such, the roster is closed to visitors. We've been told to come here. A sign of the Seven Dawn. Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door, lest you forget this sacred institution holds rational discourse to the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden.
Walked in with my staff anyway.
Okay, so well, the thing doesn't say remove equipment because you can't. You'd lose your job. It wouldn't have your job, or the game doesn't allow it. as to whether you're really going to the washroom or not. Maybe getting a pop changed the line. What?
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This arc, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Ether burner, you spelt it wrong. In other words, what do they call a rocket engine?
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms? "71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fourcheneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state.
Okay.
And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, it's the
Ah, shit.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
At least this is how we'll get to go through the final portions of Labyrinthos, I would assume. And then we'll be greeted soon, I'm assuming, with the new and final area. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part, but since we require both a means of communing with Heidelin and reaching Medion, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the competition of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. Oh god, so you're gonna learn rocket science in a matter of minutes? That would be impressive. Hey, let me see your gear. What do you look like? There's a suit. Hey, Fortuno's ability to maintain a stiffer upper lip is being sorely tested. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archeon. I trust you can make your way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Is it on this side, or do I gotta go down below? Okay, down below we are. Let's have a look at the area. Still a lot hasn't been covered yet. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophaline take you to the menial circuit. You wish to use the lift? Yes? Yes, I do. I want to see more of the cool areas. Huh, the music. Oh boy. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of Mariel's agronomics. Actually, there's something I have been meaning to... No, never mind, it can wait. Let us attend to the matters at hand. Excuse me. 316 to the west. That way. Right, which is down below, and I haven't been in this area. I'm still in the top part. Damn it. Okay, so we're going over there. Check something real quick here. Things are not happening in the background. Nice. Sweet. Check. It's good that the internet is deciding to be nice today. At least so far, it seems all good. Maybe things have been finally fixed over wherever the issues were. Okay, so, yes, into the door. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here's being Logisticons Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from the underground and dispersed as vapors, stimulating the formulations of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulations, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. 'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world to grow in nearer to the wonders. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon's surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Hyla unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheres, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to the Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus, but that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on a distant star. Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the constructions of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust and your trust. Then let us proceed. Okay, to take the lift and go to a new location. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seven Dawn are permitted to enter the central circuit. Yes. Okay. The afterburner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kukol Dankol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way.